Would you look at that? The website works. It actually works now. So, I've already looked through the website, and today I kind of want to do kind of a deep dive, saying like everything that this update has. We've seen the trailer, I've reacted to it. The website didn't work then because of all the traffic, but we're here now, so deep dive. The first thing I want to say is, what is this? Because there's chains here, there's some like bridge type platform here, there's a bunch of fire, and then here are those tree type things. This isn't the portal, right? This isn't the portal. And you got those lights and then like big ass eyes. I assume this is maybe like a second form of Annihilation or something, maybe. But what is the area? Because that's not the portal. It looks nothing like the portal. So, I don't know what's going on there, but oh well. Other little thing coming this summer. Oh, I guess I can't highlight it. It's coming in the summer sometime. I'm gonna assume mid to late summer. More on the late summer side of things. I'd expect a beta to be sometime early summer. Maybe towards mid. We'll see. But I expect it to release around late summer. Another thing is, these are those symbols that I saw, that we saw on the background of the previous version of the website, and they're also here. I was wondering what these were. It says they are something specific. We'll get there. So let's start with the actual deep dive. So the first thing is new threats. We kind of already assumed that. Enemies are bigger and more dangerous than ever before. We redesigned our mob system from the ground up to bring you new foes worthy of your strength. So pretty much every mob is being reworked from the ground up. Like, it's not just some small additions. No, it's completely from the ground up. Then we got Annihilation coming out of the portal. You do actually see the kind of outline glow of him, because, you know, bosses do that since a somewhat recent update. I am glad that it looks like it's not each individual thing is outlined, it's the entire thing that's outlined, and it doesn't like go in between. So that's nice. All mobs have been rebalanced and will more accurately match your powers as you progress through the game. Soldiers of Wynn have had many new tricks added to their arsenal over the years. It's now time for the enemies of the world to get the same treatment. So basically this is 2.0 2. 2.0 2.0. You know? 2.0 was the players are getting a big buff, and enemies, you know, there was some additions. Now it's the enemies are getting the big buff, and the players, there's a few additions, which we'll get to later. So that's nice to see. I'm liking the animations. I said before that I was a little worried, and like, usually I'm not a huge fan of it. The more I'm looking at these, the more I'm fine with it. The more I genuinely really like it. I am still a little worried about the Canyon Colossus. Not because of the animations anymore, it's the model. We'll get there when we see a video of him, but something about the model doesn't quite add up. Bosses are not the only ones to receive a makeover. Hundreds of mobs have taken new forms and are ready to give you the fight of your life at apparently I can't speak, at every opportunity. All mobs rebalanced. All mobs. 350 plus unique mobs, mob AIs and abilities. 300 plus new entity models. So More than 300 new custom models. That's a lot. And 350 plus more like unique AIs and abilities and stuff. I wonder if it's saying 350 of these combined, or if it's this is 350 plus and this is 350 plus. The next big thing is modernized. Basically, they're trying to make the game look a bit more and feel a little more modern. Kind of playing catch up with a lot of the other servers and stuff that people who are on Minecraft have been doing. Wynncraft's basically playing catch up. Wynncraft Rekindled world brings brand new improvements to various systems and UIs. Interfaces. We've reworked many of our interfaces to a unique and modern look. We see new blacksmith screen. We have a little spell icon down there when you're casting. It looks like it pops up before they even start doing the click combination, which is a little strange. Like, why would it pop up as dash if it isn't completely sure that you're doing dash? So I wonder if they're bringing in the same type of thing that Wyntills does. Like, you press one button, it locks in the dash, and then it auto puts in the clicks. Maybe? I would highly doubt it, but it's weird that the icon would pop up before the click combination is done. Just seems a little strange. And also, I don't know what this little like outline on the outside of the level is. It turns green when they do dash, and then it like starts draining. What is that about? Maybe that's a visual for like, let's say they're doing Shade Stepper, because obviously they're an assassin. They're using dash. Maybe that's like vanishes cooldown, or maybe it's vanishes like time that it's applied. Maybe that's what it is. I'm not entirely sure. Otherwise, UI looks really nice. The blacksmith screen looks pretty nice. Some parts of it do look a little flat, like this brown, it's all like one color. Like this one, I think I see like some texture, like almost like a wooden texture on some of the hotbar, but this one's just flat. Okay, it's not like a wooden texture, it's just some extra shading in there. I think it could use some of that in like these empty spots or something, just to make it look a little less flat. I like the counter idea. We can sell more things at once now. What did it used to be, like 8, and now it's... I wish I could go back and forth on these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can sell 10 things now, all at once. It used to be 8 or 7. One of the two. Health bar change. That looks really nice. I really like how that looks. So much clearer. So much cleaner. Better. It's not too flat. Maybe the health bar part is a little flat. But like, especially these parts. Damn, that looks good. And then this is kind of going along with the new chat visual upgrade that we got in the last few updates. I forget which one it came in, but looks very nice. We got Theoric doing his thing. Yeah, looks really nice. Then we got music. We've improved the music system and some of our OST to bring high quality songs directly in game. Here a sample of the improved music. Now, the song sounds really good, but I have a small concern. I'll let it play though. Sounds wonderful. Sounds great. However, this is a day to remember. You know, the like quote-unquote final boss, where you're fighting Aladar and Tasm as you're corrupted. Don't you think that this song should maybe be a little less whimsical, a little less cheery, and more things are at stake? It's serious, it's sad almost. This feels a little too cheery for that. I kind of hope they fix that, make it a little more, you know, epic, less whimsical, I guess. But overall, love how it's sounding. Can't wait to hear the rest of the music. I'm excited. Then we got teleportation scrolls. Teleportation scrolls now have charges that slowly regenerate over time. They will no longer be consumed nor require you to keep purchasing more. I'm a little conflicted on this. On one hand, charges that slowly regenerate over time is really cool. I think that you can see here, you have to stand still for 5 seconds, and then we have this new like warping, not animation, but like a new warping screen. It looks very nice. I love how this looks. I've always loved when you're in like one of the newer quests and you're being like teleported somewhere or something. It like does that like slow fade out and then slow fade back in. I love that, and I love that this is doing the same type of thing. It looks wonderful. What I'm conflicted about is this part. They will no longer be consumed nor require you to keep purchasing more. I don't know how we're gonna get scrolls then, because scrolls were part of a scroll merchant, and that's kind of made to be bought multiple times. And I'm a little worried that even though they have a cooldown and the charges will slowly regenerate over time, I hope that it doesn't make the other fast travels like the Sinfrest to Detless blimp obsolete. Now I wonder if you only have one scroll and then you put in a charge. Like, you go to a town, you go to the scroll merchant, and then they turn your scroll into that scroll. So you can only have one place that you teleport to at a time. You can switch it later, and it will not be consumed. Maybe that's how it works, but I'm not entirely sure. Because they don't say anything about the scroll merchants going away. And it would be weird to just have, you know, an entire shop just to be bought once and then never again, unless you lose it. It just seems kind of weird. Yeah, I think we even see the scroll merchant. If I'm not mistaken, that's the side, isn't it? Oh. There's no sign there anymore. There's like the physical sign, but there's not like, it doesn't say scroll merchant. Like, it doesn't have the item frame. That's a little strange. So, I don't know. Something weird with that. This goes along with teleportation scrolls. Because teleportation scrolls use charges now and not soul points, something happened to soul points, which we can see here. And I've said it before in another video. Soul points are gone. They're just gone. Soul point bombs are now being transformed into new teleportation scroll charge bombs. And dying will now only make you drop materials and ingredients, which I don't think anybody will complain about that unless you're doing crafted characters. And hardcore and hunted characters will still drop regular items. I think that's fine. Scrap, that's also gone. You can now repair crafted items simply using emeralds. While you can't scrap items anymore, existing scrap that you have will still be able to be used to repair items, which I think is fine. I may or may not have sold all of my scrap on the trade market for a healthy handful of liquid emeralds, but looks like you can still get it. you can still use the scrap if you have it. You just can't get any more of it. You know what I should do? I should get at least one thing of scrap and keep it in my bank. See if it disappears. If it doesn't, I just keep it in my one section of my bank that has like glitched items. I have a light crystal in there right now from the Orphean raid. Maybe I'll do that. Then we got pause menu. Looks very nice. I love this pause menu. The big Wynncraft logo, obviously the eye is there still. Deathless backdrop with like these vines and leaves all around. Oh, it looks so good. I like that. I like that a lot. I do kind of wish more of these buttons would have the color like this. Not this specific color, but like, or keep that as white, because I mean, I get why this one's blue, because this is like gameplay wise the most important one out of these, because it's for territories, it's for warring. But I still don't really understand why all of these are white and this one's blue. That's just the graphic designer in me saying that. So, whatever. It's not that big of a deal. It's weird that only one button's blue. It bugs me a little bit, but overall looks really nice. Raids. Here's the guy that I'll talk about soon. Raids have been greatly enhanced and reworked. They offer a much more streamlined and rewarding experience and are better suited for endgame players. Now before we go further, I want to talk about a few things here. We got a start raid UI that now has like a ready screen, so we don't have to be like, are you guys ready? And then everybody says ready or whatever, and then one person just doesn't say it and expects you to just go anyway. It removes a lot of that hassle, let's just say. Next thing is the Groot Sling looks absolutely wonderful. Thank God it's not just a bunch of baby Groot Slings anymore. Like 10 fucking waves of them. Thank God. It's an actual worm. It reminds me of Eater of Worlds from Terraria, and I love it. For some reason in Terraria, I love worm bosses, and that reminds me a lot of the worm bosses, and that might be my favorite boss now, even over Orphean, because right now Orphean's my favorite boss. But Groot Slaying, man, Groot Slaying is looking good. And then last thing for this guy. It's something about his texture just doesn't sit right with me. And I know part of it is the blue lines. That's supposed to be like cracks, you know? It's supposed to be cracks in their stone that reveal the blue under. They almost look like they're bulging out, like their veins popping out. And they almost look like they're inflated. And it's just, it doesn't look stony at those parts. The other part looks stony, but it doesn't look right, you know? It's just, I think they need to update the color and update the texture itself, because it looks too clean. It looks too cartoony, I guess. Like the amount of detail in the Groot Sling's texture, and then you look at the Colossus, and it's just, I don't know. Granted, it's a big boy. He's big, and I get that. But even with the bigness, because he's big, it makes the texture lose more texture, if that makes sense. He almost looks too toyish, too plasticky. I don't know. We'll see where it goes. But overall looks really good. Improved raids. All challenges and bosses have been reworked and improved. And this is something very interesting. Raids will now scale to each party member's own level, and will allow anyone to team up together and experience a similar challenge. how is that gonna work? How is the raid itself scaling to multiple people gonna work? I'm assuming it's the boss does different amount of damage depending on your level, and you are dealing a certain amount of damage to it based on your level as well. That's what I would assume, but some of that wording is kind of strange. But I am glad that it's doing that, because now even if you have a 106 character and you have a level 75 character, you know, they're not going to get carried, you know. There's going to be a challenge, the same type of challenge for everybody, and I think that's wonderful. And I hope that this implies, especially the will allow anyone to team up together and experience a similar challenge. Please get rid of the player max level, party max level thing. I think that's stupid. What if me and my friends want to go raiding nested Groot slayings and we're all 106? Well, we can't do that because we're too high level. That seems kind of stupid, you know? Sure, I could go in with only 3 people. Maybe that, I forget if that gets below the party level. But what if 5 of us want to go together? You know, that was really stupid. I think if this does mean that we're getting rid of that, thank God. Especially because they balance around everybody's own level. So I hope that means that that's gone. Please. Also, Orpheon's fight is looking very cool. Homing light beams. No clutter on the arena. No just enemy spam. There's no red thing in the center, which I think is kind of strange. I wonder if quadrants of the arena are still going to get Blood Run. I kind of hope that's the case, because I did like Blood Run. I did honestly kind of like the enemy clutter, just because it gave Shaman like a specific task. But I understand why it's not there, because of other classes. Part of me is glad that that's gone. Part of me is like, oh, Shaman doesn't have as much of a role to play in this raid anymore. That's unfortunate. It'll have a role to play in Groot slaying, because we do actually see, I think it's in a later video, but we do see smaller worms, so that's good. Next thing is Raid Syndicate. The Silver Bowl company is expanding into the raiding business. Sign up to their Raid Syndicate and unlock new rewards and effects. This has nothing to do with Raid Syndicates, but has crossbows always shown like that? Like in the center? Because from what I remember, they were still off to the side. So do crossbows now get held in the center? That's very interesting. Or maybe it's only that skin, maybe? I don't know. Or maybe it's some new ability or something for like sharpshooter or something, or bolt slinger, whatever this is. Kind of looks like bolt slinger. I don't know. There's something interesting. Also, Greg is crawling on the floor. I do kind of miss his floatingness, and I know he was floating because they couldn't animate legs. They couldn't get the legs to work, so they just made him float. But I kind of liked that he floated. It made him feel more ethereal, more creepy. Crawling makes him feel more like a cripple. You know? I don't know. I do like the animation of him crawling, but just in general, I think it would have been better to have him float. But oh well. Looks very good. If I'm not mistaken, he's using an updated version of the soul point texture for his eyes. Maybe. Either way. So part of the Raid Syndicate, you now get Silver Bowl gambits. This is not for the Silver Bowl subscription. This is for the Silver Bowl company within the game. Just so everybody's clear, I heard a few people say, oh, it's for Silver Bowl subscribers. No, it's not. I would be very surprised if it was. Enable gambits to increase the difficulty of raids for more rewards. Only players who enable them will receive the effect and additional rewards. So, even though there's multiple players in the raid, everybody can have different gambits that will let their rewards for them specifically be better and will affect only them. One of them, or the ones that we have here, we got Myopic's Gambit, refreshes in 45 minutes. I think that's just maybe every like hour or so the things change. And I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, in one of these videos, in this one, there's 3 diamonds up here. And they hover over it, and I'm pretty sure that said a gambit. So you have 3 choices of gambits, and they refresh maybe like, let's say every hour or so. Right? So you only have 3 choices, and they refresh after a certain amount of time. Myopic's Gambit, you cannot damage mobs that are 12 blocks or more away from you. That sucks, especially for like Shaman or Archer. Even Mage. That's awful. But I think that one's pretty doable. That one's not too bad. You got Outworn Soldier's Gambit. Oh, 17 hours. So maybe it's like after each day they refresh or something. Yeah, maybe it's each day. Your spells cost at least 20 mana. That's sad for low spell builds, low spell cost builds. That's very unfortunate, but I think that's pretty doable as well. Leaden Fighter's Gambit. For each 1% HP you have, increase your spell's mana cost by 1%. So when you're at full health, it doubles your spell cost. That one's kind of evil. That one's kind of evil. But again, not like awful. Like, I might take it eventually to try it, but you know, that one is by far out of those ones the worst one. And I'm pretty sure this one's the absolute worst. Yeah, this one's awful for Shaman. Foreseen Swordsman's Gambit. Hitting a mob 3 times will grant it immunity to your attacks for 1 second. Oh my god, it's a Shaman's worst nightmare, because your totems constantly attack enemies. And they're like little damage. It's just little ticks of damage. You want aura to be your main damager. So really, you're looking at 1 aura and 2 small ticks of normal damage, and then they're invincible for a second. And that's all you can really get in per 2 seconds. Pretty much. Per 1 second or whatever. You know what I mean. You get 1 aura and 2 little tiny clicks. At least other classes get like 3 spells. No, the Shaman gets puny damage, and aura. That's... I would hate grabbing that one. That one sucks. It sounds fun as a challenge, but damn, that sucks. That's awful. Then we got Improved Party Finder. Find a party and start raiding faster than ever before. Trading runes with the party leader is a thing of the past. every player will pay a reduced fee, and once a party has been found, the raid will start right away. No more waiting for 10 hours to find a party. You don't have to trade runes with the party. You can if you want to pay for it all yourself, but you don't have to. Because the party leader can just give everybody one toll rune or whatever to start the raid. But now everybody will have to pay like at least one rune or something, and that's how they ready up, essentially, from what I understand. And then once everybody's ready, then the raid will just immediately start. It says once a party has been found, the raid will start right away. So maybe instead of going through Party Finder for raids, maybe you put in a toll rune and then it puts you in a wait list and then puts you immediately into the raid with other people. Like instead of waiting and then waiting for everybody to be ready. No, because we have the other. Or maybe that's only if you're in a party already. I don't know. We'll have to see more on that. There's two options it could be. I'm not entirely sure which one. Guild raids. Something new for guilds. When all raiders are from the same guild, they will have a chance, not guaranteed, to start a guild raid, with increased difficulty for even more rewards. Compete on the leaderboards to become the top raiding guild. So a new leaderboard for guild raids. That sounds fun. They're tougher, but give you more rewards for doing it with your raid group, which I think is fine. It does kind of suck that, like, oh, if I just want to play with my guild mates and not some randoms, I get punished for it, quote unquote. That's kind of weird, but oh well. Also, we can see the smaller worms here. You can kind of see them every now and then, especially right here. There he is. They also burrow, it looks like. But next thing we got is aspects. Raids and guilds now reward a brand new category of item, aspects. Aspects can enhance your abilities and will upgrade the more you collect them. They're shared across all your characters and take no inventory or bank space. You can have up to 5 enabled at the same time. Come with them with perfect abilities and items to create whole new builds. So just, I don't want to say more power creep, but basically more power creep. More build diversity, more stuff to apply. Looks like it's part of the ability trees menu. Also, looks like the ability tree has new symbols on it. It looks really nice. Looks really nice. I wonder if each of these show rarity or if they show, like, maybe the orange one does a specific type of thing, the yellow one does a different type of thing, the red one does a different type of thing, and then the pink does something else and the blue does something else. Or if they're just what tiers they are. Because here it's, this blue one's a tier 1, this blue one's a tier 1. It looks like 4 is the max, at least for this one. But we got aspect of total obliteration. Chaos explosion requires -20 to activate. It costs less, but you gain 1 more spell. Aspect of the megaphone. Air shout gains +2 area of effect, so just more range on it. Aspect of fragmentation rounds. Grape bomb gains +3 grapes, and that's only at tier 2. What is tier 4? Is that 5 grapes? Plus 5 more bombs, basically. Aspect of magic missile. Pyrokinesis. Oh no, psychokinesis gains +8 range. I don't know what psychokinesis is. I don't even remember what archetype that's for. I don't remember. But that sounds pretty good. 8 range. It's pretty nice. Aspect of redoublement. Multi-hit and backstab gain a little bit more range. So they seem like they're more affecting of ability tree spells and stuff, which makes sense why they would be in the ability tree menu. So that makes sense. Then we got some of the big stuff. The big stuff here. World events. World events will frequently appear throughout the provinces. Reach them before starting time to fight waves of enemies and a boss for loot and XP. They're a great source of rare ingredients, runes, and keys. World events can be attempted with a party and will scale to match your strength. I wonder if anybody on the world, if they go to that same place, if they will all be in their own separate thing, or will it force us into a party? Like, if me and some other guy on the same world go to the same place but aren't in a party, will it force us into a party? Or will we just see our own client side enemies? Like, he'll look like he's fighting nothing for me, and I'll look like I'm fighting nothing for him. Or them. Whatever. I wonder how that'll work. Video wise, we got that guy, which I thought, I don't know. I thought he kind of looked like the Guardian of the Plains on the Emerald Trail, but that area more looks like the Canyon of the Lost, or at least near it. So, but turns out he's a world event enemy or a world event boss. I assume that's a boss. Then we got this. I love these guys. These guys are awesome. And then we got birds. The birds are definitely in Canyon of the Lost. That one near Sky Islands, maybe by Jofash Docks. So what I'm assuming, like at Jofash, because you got some like either hanging bits or floating islands up there, and you got the sea here, or at least a lake. So, but I can't pinpoint exactly where that is. My best guess is near Jofash Docks. But, oh well. Then we have major world events. Interesting that they say events, even though as of right now we only know of one. I assume we're gonna get more in other updates, but probably one for this one. About once a week, a major world event will trigger near the corruption portal on all worlds at once. Any player above level 30 can participate and attempt to take down a world-ending mega boss, Annihilation. Defeating him will reward a corrupted cache holding new extremely powerful items. It's interesting that it's level 30. I would think that it would be higher because it's able to give you new extremely powerful items. Maybe it'll give you different items depending on your level. Maybe it'll scale with each player's level, kind of like how raids do. I assume it's gonna be a pain in the ass to take down. So like it's gonna need every single player to take it down. And it's not impossible to solo, but not easy to solo. You know, it'll be very difficult to solo. At least I assume. Seems like it does a decent amount of damage. Let's see. Not as much damage as I was thinking. But I'm guessing it'll scale with each player. I do wonder that if every single person on every single world contributes to the same health pool, almost like how, and this is a very off-topic similarity, but kind of like the Dragon from Dragon's Dogma, how like every player contributes to the same health pool, and it just requires everybody who plays the game to take it down? Or is it going to be just every world has a different annihilation and a different health pool? I wonder which one it'll be. Like, is it going to have an absurd amount of health that every world contributes to, or is it just each world has its own health pool? I would assume each world has its own health pool, and it just happens at the same time. But we'll see. He looks really fun, though. That's the symbol as well. We see the symbol like between his horns. So that's what that was. Just some annihilation symbol basically. But looks very cool. Then we got content improvements. We've improved lots of areas in Wynn. Most of the level 30 to 39 quests have been touched up, and many other pieces of content throughout the entire game now have improved fights. Some people were saying that this was Hasher. This is not Hasher. I am almost certain that this is the mummy from that quest. I don't remember what the quest is called. I think it might just be the mummy, but pretty sure that that's the mummy. It's either the mummy or the pharaoh, and this is not the pharaoh's arena. And also there's no big ass crystal, even if this was the new arena. But I am almost certain that that's the mummy. The room reminds me of the mummy fight, at least, from what I remember. Then we got dungeons. Dungeons will no longer require you to complete a quest to access them, except for Eldritch Outlook and the Fallen Factory, because it wouldn't make sense to do those without doing the quests. Other ones, it's like the quests are like small little things, and those are probably gonna be either changed or they're going to be less unlocking the dungeon and more just like a bonus side thing that relates to the dungeon. They will also offer you a second chance at no cost. If you die during an attempt, you're gonna need it. So they're gonna be harder, I'm guessing. Much harder. And you can, if you die, you can hop back in again for another chance. I'm assuming each player has another chance. So like if me and somebody else goes in a dungeon and I die, and I can come back in, and if they die again, they can come back in for their second chance, I assume. But Sly car looking funky, pretty cool. I'm assuming this is Witherhead. Witherhead looks gross, but very cool. Gross in a good way. Then we got builds. Many areas in Wynn have had their builds greatly improved. Tons of ambient creatures will now inhabit the land. Exploring has never looked so good. So I did kind of call it, I don't know if I called it in a video, but I called it at work, that the pathway video could maybe say, oh, we're probably gonna get like ambient wildlife like birds and like shit in trees and stuff, and apparently I was right, so there's that. The corruption portal obviously got to change that. I think that was a secret discovery. If it's not, it's just some ruined building on a hill by Mount Wynn. Mount Wynn has an update. The Deathless Suburbs do Sewers Arachne, Saints Row. That place. What was that place? I need to see it again. They did say specifically Wynn too. Like not Gabble. What is that? Is that the Savannah town, Breminglar? Maybe? Or maybe it's Turnavs? One of the two, I don't know. But and then we got somewhere in the ocean or on the coast of Wynn, somewhere. Then we got new content. Here's a look at some of the new content in Rekindled World. New items and major IDs. I'm only gonna look a little bit at these. We got Wanderer's Purpose with Seeking module, homing shots track towards nearby enemies much more aggressively. Alkali with Insoluble, Disillusion lasts much longer but no longer grants resistance. Whirling Gyre has Hurricane's Eye, Violent Vortex applies 2 marks to every enemy it hits. Equitus, that has Cavalryman again, which you can cast spells with a 30% damage reduction on a horse. And then Echoes of the Lost has Sorcery again, which is just 30% chance for spells and attacks to cast a second time at no additional cost. New reworked abilities. Sunflare, which looks like that. I'm not going to read it all. We got Shadow Siphon, that looks pretty nice. Frog Dance, said that you don't have to use it with a totem. Does not require a totem. I might slot back in Frog Dance. That sounds really good. If you can do it without a totem, that's really fucking good. So I can either fly or I can just hop around. Bloodlust, which looks like that. You got Freezing Sigil, that one looks pretty interesting. And then Chilling Snare, which looks pretty interesting too. Then we got new loot run missions. We got Chronokinesis, which chests will give you 1 pull, but all future time that you gain will be minus 5 seconds, or will be 5 seconds less. Then the next one will be 10 seconds less, then 15 seconds, and so on and so forth. At least that's what I put together. We got Porphyrophobia. I hope I said that right. Blue beacons will now give +1 pull, and getting offered a purple beacon gives you 1 curse. Just getting offered it, by the way. That sounds awful. But blue beacons give you a pull. That's only good if you have like Equilibrium. And Jester's Trick, which I actually find, I think this one's really fun. I like this one. After being offered 20 items from flying chests, randomly get 3 pulls, 1 boon, and 1 curse, or 30 seconds. Sorry, not and 1 curse. 3 pulls, 1 boon, 1 curse, or 30 seconds. One of those 3 options. 3 pulls is nice. 1 boon is nice. 1 curse, it's like, ooh, or +6. The only bad thing is the curse. Everything else, it being a random thing, man, that's good. But it is random. Then, the 2 things that we know very little about. Loot run random events. During loot runs, there will now be a chance for random events to trigger. They can be beneficial or not. Stay alert, anything could happen. And then something we know even less about. Guilds. During the beta, we'll talk more about our ideas for guild rating and other minor changes. Interesting that they say ideas. Like, they're not going to implement it during the beta, but they're just going to talk about what they kind of have been thinking of, which is kind of strange. Maybe the guild stuff will be not in this update, just the guild rating, and maybe the ideas for guild rating is just more ideas on what guild rating can do, and just right now what it said guild rating up there is what they have in this update. Maybe, who knows. Please fix warring. Please. I have a video planned on how I think warring could be improved, but I'll make that at some point. And we got store bundles, and these are available now. Pre-order the limited time Savior bundles and support Wynncraft. Savior bundle, you get a baby Orphean pet, 4 untradeable untradeable Silver Bowl shares, $20 value, and access to the Rekindled World Beta. I assume Hero Beta is still a thing, and this is just if you're not Hero or Champion or a Silver Bowl subscriber, buying this will also let you get into it as well. I think that's what it means. I don't think it's locked behind this paywall completely. I think Heroes and Champions and Silver Bowl subscribers still get in it. It's just there's now another extra way to get into it. And that's $30. Then you got then you got the fucking, what is it? Condemned Savior bundle. Yeah, Baby Orphean Pet, two Black Market hats, the Orphean's Messenger, and Annihilation's Disciple. You get 8 untradeable Silver Bowl shares, which is $40 value, and then also access to the beta for $50. That's kind of expensive. From what I know, the Orphean Pet will come when the update comes out, just because I think it uses the, you know, new enemy and like mob system. But the hats, I believe you get immediately. I saw somebody with this one. I kind of really want it. I might buy it, but we'll see. We'll see. I did just spend a lot of money, so and I don't like spending money. And more. We have even more to reveal before the updates release this summer. Join us in Discord to keep up with the news. So that's about it for the website. This was, oh my god, I've been recording for 57 minutes, almost 58. I've been recording for an hour. That's crazy. I don't know how much I'm gonna be able to cut this video down. This might be a long one, but hey, we're at the end of the website. Everything that I wanted to say is done. That's a whole update that we know of so far. There's gonna be more to come. I am still confused on what this is. Let me know what you guys think that this picture means, because that's definitely not the portal. And Annihilation doesn't have red eyes. Or these yellow things. I don't know what the yellow is, but I don't know what any of this is. The cape's on fire. I don't know what any of that means. So maybe we are actually going to the Realm of War. We just haven't been shown it yet. But we'll see. So, liked if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to see more. I am planning on posting some more stuff. I'm not stopping yet. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.